Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Gen V, also the boys, but the Gen V series review, season one. I am still the podcaster of mischief. I am the go check out Extra Life Trust now. I'm joined by
Vought Plus, Taylor Field.
Vought Plus. There you go. So yes, as I just talked about, everything as usual you need to know is down below. But the most important thing, the link, the big one. Soon there'll be a schedule. Probably by next week there'll be the full schedule on there. We're starting to announce stuff because as we just announced Taylor on Loki, we announced that we're gonna be doing dodgeball for the first time ever. Why are you making those eyes? You're just worried technical side. There's gonna be a bunch of issues. So you're worried about?
Oh, I mean, how many cameras are we going to set up? We
Just
have
one,
like
just one
overhead
wide
angle.
one, Taylor's like, we better do recorded. And I was like, no, we can't do recorded, lose the magic. But, that would be safer. But fuck it, we're gonna do it live. But yes, it's gonna be a dodgeball team. Gonna be me leading one team and Kirkland leading one team on the other side. So it should be a good time. Lots of fun events. We stay up for 24 hours on November 4th from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. Go over to the link and donate now or anytime between then and November 5th. We will be trying to raise $2,500 towards the BC Children's Hospital. And if you want to donate, all of the donations are tax deductible. Soon there'll be a GeekVerse Extra Life themed shirt this year of what we're doing. If you buy that, the proceeds go towards that. And if you can't donate, please, within the next few months, everything. And a big shout out to people that I already have. Share the link, spread the word, especially the day of. Come like the video, come retweet. We've said it before many times. There's people that we didn't even know that come and they can donate. So we'd really appreciate that if you'd help us at our goal. And yeah, help us raise this money. And we give you 24 hours of great entertainment, video games, dodgeball, a bunch of other things. Gauntlet's not around right now, but we're filling the air with a lot of good things. So Taylor Field, was this episode a good thing? Episode 4, halfway mark.
I would say this was a good thing. There,
Don't
there
sound
was
very enthused.
no, there was a lot of things that I was not expecting and anticipating. It's just like, oh goddamn, it has some of that classic boys stuff that just really just makes you go on edge. There were two big things this episode. One particular, and then another one that's just like comedic. It's like, oh, for fuck's sakes. But yeah, I think story wise, I mean, definitely pushed the narrative ahead a little bit more, and we got to see some interesting developments from our characters and some new um connections. I guess that's what I'll say without spoiling it. Connections form between characters. There's the introduction of one element to the narrative that I really did like, although it started and it wrapped up and concluded in this episode, so it's not going to have any long-term effects on the story. And I feel like there
Yeah.
wasn't really anything, like, more people became aware of some things, but other than that, there's not really, I don't feel like anything has really changed that much. Yes, things move from point A to point B, but we're not that far ahead from where we were last week.
Yeah. Is that all you have to say?
I think so. I mean, overall, like, I did enjoy the episode. I thought it was a good time.
I'm kind of in line with you, but I think I'm leaning more towards negative. I think this for sure my least favorite of the series so far out of the four. And like, I don't, obviously don't rank episodes, but it's one of these, if we were, I might give it a failing grade. It's not in the sense where I'm worried about the show. I think it's just like what you said. We didn't progress the story forward that much. There were some more connections built, but I feel like you could have done that elsewise or otherwhere. I didn't feel like this is kind of felt, I won't say completely filler, but half of it felt filler. And to me, that's never the boys. They introduce it, and people had known this before. I'm not sure if he's from the comics or what the ideals, if people just like the promos, but people have been talking about, oh, this, what was it? Was he Tech Knight? Was that the name of the
Yeah.
character? I didn't like that character. I think maybe just because it didn't go that way, like didn't go anywhere that much. I felt like the resolution was kind of like you said, it just was a one and done. And I guess I just didn't like a lot of the comedy in this episode. Even the big shocking thing that happens, I felt that was done purely for shock value and really had no stakes after. Like, it just feels like now we're in a car. It felt, this episode, what I worried about is starting to feel like Family Guy, and I don't think the whole series will, but this episode felt, and I'd be completely fine if the whole series, like what we talked about before, was it's going to be these superheroes in high school and it's just about the hijinks of them getting high, fucking doing drugs, killing people. But it's not. They're trying to make it like tied in with the boys, and Ovot's doing this and it's really serious, and we're dealing with suicide and all these other themes we talked about last week. So I feel like the three, like, I don't think the last three episodes were all top tier boys stuff. I think they were really good, and there was some stuff that was great, but I didn't think like rivaling the stuff that was, the, like I said, top tier boys, but it was still going a certain route, and this just feels like it had, and I have to look, it just feels like a big step off to me. It doesn't feel like the exact same show. I feel like we've rushed a few storylines as well. So yeah, between not liking new characters, not really digging lots of the jokes, and thinking we're kind of rushing, and like you said, the story not going too much, and we're halfway through the season, I think this was like I would fail this episode. I'm not
Ooh.
completely, yeah, I'm not worried about it. It's not like because I think that's the difference we always have with the Star Wars and Disney or Marvel ones, is those are usually only 6 to 8, but the boys, as we said before, those are usually almost like a full hour, right? So I know we
Mhm.
got full 4 hours left. I could still see this just being a hiccup. So we'll see as it goes along. But yeah, this was the first episode, and I'd even say just for the boys in general. I'm sure there's some episode, but I don't think I've ever had a boys episode where I distinctly went, "Oh, I would fail that one." And this one, if it's not a fail, it's the closest to. Maybe I'll decide when we're talking about it. But yeah, I kind of a step down. I'm not worried yet. And ask me next week. If next week is another kind of this quality episode, then I will start to worry a bit more. But as of right now, I just took it as a hiccup, and they wanted to do something, especially with this Jordan Knight or this Tech Knight character, and I just didn't buy and enjoy a lot of it. I didn't feel like it was as clever. So, anything else non spoilers to say?
No, I think that's it.
Okay, so we'll get into it. So we're gonna take our first ad break. If you're not seeing it, come back later on, enjoy the episode. If not, we're just gonna take a break, and then we're gonna break this all down. And we're back. Okay, so I want to start with what you were probably referring to as like one of the more shocking things that happened in this episode, and I was very confused for a second. I rewound it 3 times just to be sure what was going on, not with the actual thing because I got that. But we have Maria. She's trying to figure out where Emma is. I liked that the last week we talked about like the guards maybe didn't for sure see her, and they didn't, and obviously they also got just slaughtered by Sam. We'll talk about Sam also because he's going through a wild range of emotions. But so she's just worried about her friend, roommate. She's learned about this mission. She's heard that there's some sort of psychic, like almost sounds like Xavier type of character, right, at the school where he can
Hmm.
see stuff. So she goes to talk to him, and you can tell he's a scumball, and you can tell he's just up to no good. She says, "Oh, could you do this?" And he's just trying to flirt with her, and then he's, "Oh, well, I'm just kind of looking for my friend," and like, "Oh, there's other things you could offer me." She walks away. He's, "Oh, wait, no, I'll help you out." And then so she sits down, and this is where I have questions towards the ending. But she sits down, and then all of a sudden it just cuts to black, and it wakes up, and there's some '80s romantic music. She's like not half naked, but she's definitely down to like her jacket and stuff has been off. So pretty much like insinuating, and again relating to things that I do like that the show does and touches upon stuff in like troubles at school. So pretty much like relating this like a date rape situation, right? But he did this with his mind. So then we got Jordan Lee. She and he are breaking through. They're breaking through the door. We meet this, or we see the telekinesis guy. We get lots of cock action here. He's just robe, and he's like, "I'm busy." He turns around, and he starts to get a boner. And when he gets a boner, Maria decides to, or I don't think she decides to. She accidentally explodes his penis because the blood is just
Fuck.
flowing so hard to it. But like, what? So I don't mind that. The boys does that all the time. Fun. I think what I had a problem with it was quite a visual, but they just. That's why I wasn't sure if it was like a dream sequence or something because they just walk like she just exploded this man's penis. There'd be blood everywhere. He could die potentially, and like you explode that dude's penis. She's like, yeah, and like it was just that's where it felt like Family Guy. There was nothing. They just walked. There's no reference to it again. Maybe there will be. Maybe there will be next few episodes. Like, hey, we got to talk. I thought Tech Knight was gonna bring up. I thought she might get in somewhat trouble, but like we don't know the situation as of right now. She just literally ripped this guy's dick off, and it's different when the people of the Seven do it because oh, there's a bunch of people that would clean up for Homelander, right? Remember that one superhero in season 3? He's the prospect, and Homelander just fucking like blinds him or whatever,
Hmm.
and then he's gone.
Or he
But
like
like,
claps his ears, right?
yeah, right, like whatever that is, right? But like Vought cleans up right away. They wouldn't be cleaning up after these people, so it felt like that's what I worry is that it just was shock value for the sake of shock value. It was funny, but I worried they just went for it because like, oh, wouldn't it be cool if we explode this guy's penis because he got a boner? But
Well,
it
top
was
five, right? Like they're untouchable.
I don't know if they're that untouchable. Like I don't believe it in this state. Like a little bit, but I don't know. How do you feel about this whole sequence?
Yeah, they that it just really accelerated really, really quickly, and I don't know how to like take it in comparison to how the final scene unfolded because I feel like it was kind of very similar in terms of transition. So I'm kind of
Yes.
confused about that. I had to like check my internet connection. I was like, what the fuck just happened here? But yeah, I think that it was very boys. Just everything that happened, I couldn't believe it. He just turns around and she just fucking ignites that, and it just blows. Like, what the fuck are you doing? It's just what a
And like,
horrible
yeah, he was just
situation.
so he was young and he was almost just so calm about it, too. Like that's where it felt so slapsticky. But do you think she did that because she felt like she was in danger, or did she just like? Well, clearly not, because I feel like later on we do, and whatever in sports section, it seems like they imply she has sex with somebody. We don't know if they were using their male or female organs, but I don't think she's like exploding every dude's dick that gets a boner, right? So I don't
No,
know
no,
what
it's
that deal
not.
was.
It's not every time. I would say so.
It's a lot of dickless gentlemen on campus.
Yeah, that's just, yeah, that's, God, that was just such a visual. Oh my God, it was a close up angle too. Holy
Yeah.
shit.
But then
But
how'd you feel? Like I said, they just kind of walked off and like nothing came of it. It's just, oh,
I
you
think,
blew that guy's dick up. That's it.
yeah, I think that's unfortunate. They should have touched upon that because yes, I mean, the minor thing of like Homelander clapping and like taking out a guy. I guess that was a minor character, but this felt like it was a significant plot point because she was
Hmm.
enlisting him to help find Emma. So there's that, but I don't know. The Boys has a good way of having things tie back around. I mean, letting a plane crash full of people, that's one thing. But there are other events that happen in The Boys where they do pull them back into the narrative at some point in the future. And so I feel like
Yeah.
this is something that should, because she was told at one point, hey, you do one wrong thing and you're out. Now, of course, Brink is gone. Of course, she's in the top 5. She's second right now on the leaderboards and ranks. So she's got a lot going for her. And obviously the dean is very much like, hey, don't touch the top 5, leave them as they are, they're untouchable. So we'll have to see. I'm not sure, but I if they don't touch upon in the future, which I doubt they will, then that would be kind of upsetting, just to be like, hey, let's just throw it in to get some laughs and take advantage of this grittiness that The Boys has created. It's
Hmm.
a cheap pull, but it still was just left me flabbergasted.
Yeah, so you got that going on. So we'll see. I hope they do tie it back. Just in the moment, it felt very, and even the characters just felt nonchalant. Like, oh, you blew up his penis. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. It just felt again. Family Guy is the best way to could describe it. But yeah, we could jump to that ending now, just because it happened. There's still more to talk about, but the ending was. We'll get to it, but the characters are talking down Sam. Like I said, we'll talk about the specifics of the scene, but they're talking down Sam, and it's Maria saying, "Oh, everything's gonna be okay," and then it cuts, and then it like you said, it's like you lost internet or something like that. It cuts, and then it's to a different scene, and it's almost like the way she woke up earlier, where she was talking to the Xavier guy. His name's not Xavier, I just don't, the Xavier type guy. And then she woke up and like he was gonna sexually assault her. Now the same thing. This was different because even though it's in a sexual situation, she's with Jordan, who we'll talk about. They were starting some sort of romance in this episode, and it's like none of that stuff had happened. So I don't know if they were trying to insinuate. I don't think it was a dream sequence. I don't think they do that, but that's almost what they were trying to insinuate. I'm not sure if something happened. I'm not sure if there's another like telekinesis character or telepath that took her out. What were you got any theories about that? Because I'm really stumped, and that did leave me intrigued. To be like, okay, why was this choice made? So
It's hard to say. It makes me think like if this guy was a telepath and maybe somehow it just prompted this whole like vision of like, hey, this is the future, like this is what could happen, this is what will happen. I don't know. It's very convoluted, and I don't like how you end an episode like that
mm,
because it doesn't feel cliffhangery. It doesn't like I don't even feel like if I anticipation or excitement for next week's episode, because I just feel like, well, what did they just conclude this episode on? Just cutting the blank or cutting the black, and yeah, she's in this situation with Jordan now, but I don't know. I don't I don't get it. So I'm hoping that they provide proper context, because it being so convoluted is
yeah.
definitely a negative for me, and especially right in the last 30 seconds, and then you cut to a scene of Tech Knight doing his thing. It's like, well, I mean, that's why are you going
Yeah,
back to that? That's not what I needed right now. I need more of the story to be properly explained to me.
yes, I think that one they'll definitely touch upon. I just don't have any theories because I just it would have been different if she woke up and she was like captured or alone because you could say either something Vought or the school's doing or that telepath guy's back and he's fucking with her, right? Because he's like, okay,
Hmm.
you blew my penis, I'm gonna come after you. But if there's no sign, so I'm interested to see what it is, and it would have been really different too if that Jordan scene in the middle episode hadn't happened. If she just woke up and she
Hmm.
was there in bed, you were like, "Okay, what the did she get assaulted, or was this a thing?" So I am curious, but it is one of these things that I hope they dive into, and I hope it's done well because it could just feel like a sloppy episode ending. But I'll give it a chance. It's at least intriguing. It just felt very odd in that moment, and it just, like I said, it felt odd that she just woke up and seems like everything's all good. I think I'd be more like, okay, if she woke up covered in blood or someone dead, you go, okay, they clearly wiped her mind or did something, and we're gonna get a whole episode. But seems like everything maybe went okay. I don't know, maybe people are dead. But let's talk about this. Where I'll throw it to you. Where How do you feel about Maria and Jordan being a couple now? Or I don't know if they're a couple, but at least they're romantically linked now. They had a makeout session. There's some tension that I feel like just came in this episode and was not in the other episodes. And then at the end of the episode, they're together in bed, the girl version. So
Um, Honestly, I'm jiving with it. I am. I wasn't sure how I felt at first with them being kind of just like, I guess Jordan was more or less the jerk, but
which Jordan? They're both Jordan. Remember? Or you
yeah,
just
well,
mean Jordan? Okay, sorry. Yeah,
Jordan, yeah,
yeah.
they were just being a jerk to Marie, and
Hmm.
now I think after Marie opened up and just kind of told the truth in class, yeah, it pissed Jordan off, but I think it had a profound effect too because the way Jordan was interacting and like accepting that information out as public knowledge, like, hey, Jordan actually was the only one that fought Golden Boy, and it led to this outcome. Then Jordan is a hero, and
Hmm.
I think that's all Jordan really wants to be. Out of everyone here, like, there's definitely some convoluted heroes, and there's some that are really bad, like this mind reader roofie guy.
Yeah.
um, I think Jordan to me is they feel very sincere to me that they would be a genuine hero, especially because of just how Jordan just dropped into that fight with between Marie and Golden Boy compared
Yeah.
to other people like Andre has daddy issues that they have
Yeah.
to
He still
work
wants to be a hero.
through.
He's trying to do good stuff though, right?
He still wants to
He's
be a
just kind of
hero,
messed up.
but he's just kind of messed up. Yeah, Golden Boy, it was just very tribulative. I
Hmm.
can't remember the
The rogue
empath,
type girl.
the rogue
Kate. It's
type.
Kate.
Kate,
Yeah. I
yeah.
don't
So
know. I
her, I'm
can't
not
read her
sure.
yet still. We talked about that last week or this week. Same thing. They mentioned Sam, which we didn't think was controversial, but Sam's like, "You're never touching me again," like insinuating the whole, like, when she knocked him out. So I feel like I'm waiting to see where she's still with the gang, right? Like she still
Hmm.
helped them out. So it's not like she's like, I don't want to do this or this is a bad idea. She did tell Andre he was going too far, right? But that, to me, I didn't get the sense of, was that a dangerous, like, my career, or was that like a, hey, I don't want you to get hurt or us to get hurt, right? So I'm
Right.
very, I don't know if it's direction or the actress or the writing, if they're on purpose trying to betray her somewhere in the middle, or if they're just, they haven't done a good job fleshing out this character. So I'm waiting more, but lots of characters, so we'll see. So I'm of two minds. I like the Jordan and Maria relationship, or just the idea of them pairing together, especially with all three. That's fun. But I just thought it was rushed. I thought it went from episode 1 to 2 that they absolutely just hate each other, it seems. And episode 3, she lied. I think it was episode 3 where she lied about the story. I just feel
Yeah.
like this should have been more like a episode 6 or 7, like this. I feel like this was the first time we actually saw them getting along at any point, just having a conversation where they didn't dislike each other. And then it's like, oh, the next scene they're making out. I was like, I don't really.
But they're like teenagers, right? I guess this is how
They're not
society,
teenagers.
young adults. This
They're
is
in
how
like
society
college.
views young adults, right? When you look at Andre and Kate, like they were just like boom, right away,
But
episode
different.
1 or 2.
But different because they're already, one, trauma brings people together, and two, they were friendly. It's not like Andre and Kate, like, fuck you, I don't like you. These past 3 episodes, this girl and this girl slash guy they've been like knocking heads the whole time. So I just felt it was. I'm not saying we couldn't have got there this season. It just felt in episode 4 very rushed, and that's why I'm very curious about these next 4 episodes, because I felt last week the episode 3 had some things that were a little rushed too, or maybe just some things sprinkled throughout. So I liked it. Just thought we got there really fast. To even then, at first, I thought they were gonna make it that Jordan was making a move and she wasn't really into it, but it didn't matter. She was
It
just
seemed like that. She definitely was like pushed back a little
yeah.
bit.
But then they're making out, and then the episode they're just together. So it's like, okay. So again, it just feels like we're moving a little fast with this. I'm fine with it. I think that's a fun dynamic to play with. Like, I think there's many fun sexual scenes they can do too there. But I don't know. And I like both characters, so I'm down for it. Just again, just take your time. I wonder if this is getting a season 2, because this feels very much like they feel like they might only be getting a one season, and we got to do everything we can in it. And that's what some storylines feel to me, where we got to go, 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 go. You know?
Yeah, it would really be disheartening if this, because we've buried ourselves in this narrative now between Jordan and Marie, and so I feel like it would be very disheartening if we get to the next episode and it turns out this was all just in her mind. I hope it's not
I
like
hope
that.
not. Yeah,
Yeah.
it'd be weird because yeah, it'd be very. I don't want some shit where like, oh yeah, the mind reader's been with her since they were sitting on the bench or something like that.
Mhm.
I hope not. I don't think so, because I don't think they would have been doing the Tech Knight stuff. But you never know. I think it'll be something else. But yeah, we'll see about those two and see what ends up with happening. And that same thing with even like Emma and Sam. I like the Sam character. I like the Sam stuff that's going on. Same thing. It just feels like that's happening pretty fast too, as far as their connection. I was very surprised, like, we talked about this, she did the reveal that his brother was dead, and he was upset about it, but it didn't seem like he cared at all that she lied, I guess. And it just felt like that was just like oh, by the way, your brother's dead, and she was mad, and he was mad. And then the next scene, they were talking about he does lose it when he sees fucking Jason Ritter with the puppets. But again, it just felt like, not that he got over his brother, but it felt like that scene was, he was really upset. Then the next scene, he's like laughing with her and joking around. Felt like that was really quick, and it feels like their connection of being attracted to one another. I thought we were going that way, but already just feels like there's like a love there between the two. It's just, it's like you guys have known each other for a few hours. I get that Emma's like, oh, he's really hot and stuff. But I just feel like in this situation, it's like, I guess no, it's been a couple days, because that teacher did say she's missed a couple classes, but it just feels again a lot faster than usual. Where I feel like the boys usually takes a big time to build up. Like, I feel like even with, like, you look at like Homelander and what's her name? God, who was the Nazi in season 2?
Ooh, Stormfront.
Stormfront, that took a few episodes to build up. Huey and Starlight took a few episodes to build up. I feel like these relationships, they like to wait a little while before they pull the trigger. But in Gen V, they're really not. Now, Sam and Emma didn't kiss or anything this episode, but it felt like there's a strong connection there already. But I like some stuff.
I think it's also attributed to the fact too that Sam has had really no compassionate relationships of any kind.
Yeah.
Nothing. No, he's not been able to explore love or
Well, that's why I was
likes or
surprised that
anything
he
like
was just so cool with her lying to him, though. He talked about how he can
I
never
think-
trust people, and
Yeah, but I think the fact that his brother's dead trumps that feeling of just like, oh, you lied to me. His brother's dead, and that's just like, oh my god, he's dead. And she was very sincere about it too, like, I'm sorry, and all that jazz. But I mean, he was angry, brother's dead, that's that. And I can write that off as being believable. But I think her being in a situation where she's been used and she's been taken advantage of, and she's not had great relationships with anybody, so she's very much emotionally compromised, I would say, in the sense like, hey, this person is actually very genuine, very true, very humble, and I'm really, really attracted to that because I've not had that connection with anyone before. And he has definitely not had any connection with anyone except for his brother. So now here comes this member of the opposite sex that he is definitely attracted to, and has saved his life to get out of there and broke him out. So I think it's the most believable relationship that's forming so far compared to the other two with Andre
Okay.
and Kate and Jordan and Marie.
okay, I would put Andre and Kate up top just because they were friends before, and we don't know, they could have had some attraction. Like I said, just the trauma bringing them together. Then I put Sam and Emma, and I definitely put Jordan and what is it, Jordan and
Marie?
Maria at the bottom. Is it Maria or Maria?
I don't know. Let's see.
Because I think we both said different things. So you look up. But luckily, I don't dislike
Marie.
any of them. Is it Marie? Okay. So sorry about that. Yeah. So luckily, I don't dislike any of them. Same thing with the characters. I don't dislike any of them. So that's a good thing. It's just more critiques where I think, oh, this could be a little bit better. But yeah, Sam, he popped up in the episode. He was taking on that full team pretty much, of the superheroes. And I did. It's so funny we talked about this. That last week I posed a question to you. I said, okay, if Emma throws up and gets tiny, what happens if she eats? I did not think we would get an episode 4, even maybe this season. I thought that's something that would hold on, but she became like Giant Woman, like that's what she did. So yeah, I thought, well, look at that. Travis JTT, thank you for being in the chat. Says Emma can grow. I figured that her mom brought up the calorie count. And I figured that too, but I just didn't know that um, you could get that size, like to that extent. And I'm wondering about this. Travis TTG says Andre, Kate, and Luke were in a 3-way relationship. Now I don't remember that, but I do remember that Luke Golden Boy said that he loved Andre, but it wasn't like a love you, bro. It was like a I love you. So maybe that's something we missed in the last 3 episodes. Were they in a thruple?
Tech Knight also insinuated too, like I don't know Golden Boy's like girlfriends, one of his fuck boys and stuff like that. So maybe that is
okay.
something.
So then I could believe that too, that it was a threesome and they just lost their other partner, right? So they were already maybe established. So okay, and I had picked up, like I said, little hints, but I didn't know it was like a for sure thing. And even if it's not, I feel like they're going that route. So no, I thought that was very cool. Her getting that size. I think they made it look as good as they could. You could tell, like, on a bit of a budget. Shout out to this actress. This actress, she's not showing any nudity, but she has to be naked a lot. Between being naked, between being little and being big, shout out to her. I just love that Sam's ripping this team apart, and she just comes and just pins him down like Mufasa to Simba or something like that. It was just that was a good situation. Also, we had that weird ending, but yeah, and I really liked the scene too, that they kind of realized, oh, he's going to go to that doctor. I loved the scene just because I felt very uncomfortable with Sam, because he has a very Black Noir thing going on right now, where Black Noir would see these animals. Sam sees like a Mr. Rogers type of show, and it's not going good for him because he doesn't know what's real and what's not. And kudos to the actor. I think he's doing a good job. I think there's just times where it's like, oh, I could believe why they locked you up, because you seem very, very unstable. But I was very worried for that doctor's family. Like, luckily the doctor got him out of there, but I'm like, this is not going to go well. This guy is freaking out. He's bringing the table, and this little kid's right there. I'm like, and then he comes like, oh, my mom's pasta sauce.
Sauce.
He's completely oblivious to his husband and his son or daughter, whoever it was, like about to get demolished by Sam. So yeah, I'm liking what they do here. I'm interested to see how, like, obviously she pinned him down, but I'm just like, you can't stay that way forever, right? So I'm interested to see how did she knock him out? How they get him from one location to another? And I guess his powers is he's just kind of super powered, right? Like super strength.
He's got the Queen Maeve jump, right?
Yeah.
That's what he talked about.
Super strength. He's pretty much just like almost Soldier Boy too, like Captain America type. Just like all his attributes are like to the top.
Yeah, pretty much. We got to see him fight Jordan a little bit too. I can confirm this as well because I looked into it. Jordan's powers are in the boy version. Basically, they can use the super strength, everything like that, and when they do the switch to the female version, then they can use the energy-based weapons, and they have heightened agility as well, which is very cool. I like the unique powers between that.
And I can't remember. I think it could have been Super Bad Mike. He posted. I think the boy version has like a bit of like indestructibility too. Like he's a lot more durable and stuff. So I'm sure that could happen. Travis said, "Do you guys think she's super strength as well?" I've been worried about that. I don't think so. I think that she's just big. Like it depends if
I would say she's got super strength.
Like when she's just normal size though.
No. When she's normal, she's just normal. Is that what they meant?
Well, to me, super strength would be if you're normal, you could just kick ass. Because if she's Giant Woman, I think her regular strength would just be like super strength to everybody else because her size, right? Like you wouldn't say Godzilla has super strength. He's just massive. So he's just like a big
reflection of their scaled size, which makes sense.
Yeah, and I feel like last week they had an opportunity when she was small. They didn't do the Ant-Man thing where it's like, oh, she can like pick up or hit things 10 times her size, right? She just went through that guy's brain, which I did like this episode. She was showing some guilt and some kind
Hmm.
of question about it, because I brought that up last week where I was like, she just went through this dude's brain, and it's kind of like, whoa, that was crazy. So I do like that. Okay, she's showing that was like, there's some remorse there, and she had to do it, but she's obviously, it's going to be weighing on her a bit. So yeah,
Yeah,
you got
like what if
anything
he
on?
had a family or something like that?
Yeah, exactly. And that's what I want to ask, because these are people, it's not the seven. These are people that would be killing people for the first time, right? So,
Hmm.
yeah, I don't know. So, yeah, I liked everything with Emma, with Sam for the most part. Like I said, maybe a little rush in the romance, but like again, I don't know what they're dealing with. Maybe they do just got one season. They want to hit it all in. So, is there anything about Sam or Emma you want to touch upon that we haven't?
Just it was neat to kind of see more of Sam's quirk, and he's looking at that TV, and you got like the puppet deep, and like his gills are talking, and all
Oh my
that weird
God,
shit.
yeah.
Very weird, but
You never want to see the deep.
no, you don't. So that's kind of what's going on with Sam. If I had to pick between the two, I really like Black Noir's characters more uh, than than this, but it's a weird little quirk, and they're not mentally sane. So
Yeah. Let's take our next ad break, and then we'll be right back. And we're back. So I'm going to let you lead the way on this one. What did you think about Tech Knight?
I was really hoping Tech Knight would be more of a, not like a Homelander, but Homelander equivalent, where he just comes in and he's here for a few episodes and just lays down the law and is really, really dark. And I was liking everything at the start, especially when Kate was being interviewed, and we got that whole like mashup interview session with every one of our main characters. And Kate's interviewing, she's taking her glove off, and he's like, "You take that glove off, I'll take your fucking hand off." And I was like, "Holy shit!" Like, this is just crazy. And I like seeing that darker part of him, because he is super cocky. He's walking around like he owns the joint, and I was really digging having him around on campus for a few episodes. He broke Marie too, and that's when Marie confessed about Jordan saving her life. So there was a lot that I was hoping that would be capitalized on there, but they wrapped it up in one episode, so it's unfortunate. I feel like they could have had some more fun with that. And the only fun that they chose to have was his quirk, where he is just, it's a pylon, a cone, a construction cone, it's a skull, it's the bagel, the donut. In retrospect, I do laugh, because when he confronts the dean, he's like, "I'm gonna pin it all on you," and then after that conversation, he picks up a bagel and he smiles at her and walks away with the bagel and has a bite in it too. In retrospect, it's super fucked. And even at the end too, when he's walking around and he's looking at the tree hole, like,
The tree hole was
oh
something,
my
yeah.
god, what a
Gonna
fucking
need a minute.
character.
Give me a minute. Yeah. I thought you would like him because some of his things were very similar to Robert Downey's Sherlock, the way he would pick up on certain things, but he was like in an interrogation style, like
Oh
looks at
yeah,
their
the
eyes
pow-
and
the
cheeks.
power was very cool. I like that, this heightened sense of observation, just the pupil and everything like that he's detecting. But yeah, I guess a distorted Sherlock Holmes. I don't know what Marvel or DC character he's based off of, like Batman, because Batman's a detective.
Well, what I'd heard him describe before, and Travis, because I think you've read some, because you said, did they retcon Tech Knight to have V or just Sherlock Holmes powers? So if you have, let us know, because yeah, we haven't read them. I had heard comparisons that he was like Tony Stark, which I was like, other than the look and being semi like having some money, I didn't get that sense from him. I guess he was an arrogant asshole, but like Tony Stark doesn't have powers, and like Tony Stark can't like read people like that. So he's based off Iron Man and Batman. So yeah, I can see that. I see the Iron Man stuff. I don't really see the Batman stuff other than monies. I did not enjoy this character. I'm on the complete opposite spectrum of Taylor, where I'm glad he wasn't around for several episodes. I think for me that one, I don't think the scenes where he was messing with the kids were done well enough. Like the way that he broke Marie, I don't think, like the way she just crumbled, like, oh no, I didn't do anything, and I did like. Just literally a week ago, we had, oh, well, I was a hero, I did this, and I know his vault was there, but I just didn't buy her crumbling and giving the whole story like that. I also wish, too, because it's weird, she gives that story, and then later on, she's kind of like, oh, well, you got to do the right thing. But that's not the way the show proposed it. The show proposed as he broke her, and she told it. So I would have preferred her to say, hey, like, I'm reading through your bullshit, but, like, I'm going to tell the story truthfully. And then that's why Jordan's like starting to fall for like, oh, you stuck up for me. But it was weird that Jordan's attracted to her for like getting duped. I don't know. That's where the scene, how they wrote the interrogation to how they wrote Jordan her getting together did not match. And it did not. Maria was literally saying things like, oh, sometimes you just gotta be a good person. It's like, that's not what happened there. Like you got figured out. So I thought those scenes were done well. I did think the actor was the greatest. And for me, so you have this thing where this is a big scandal. He's looking at other things. He's talking about the woods with the dean, right? Like, I could expose this, I could expose you, all this big stuff. I think that I don't mind the joke. I find it funny. I just hate that this very serious issue, the blackmail was, we're going to tell people you fuck holes. You know, that's where, again, it felt like Family Guy. It felt like this. If this was just a comedy about the boys, like, oh, this fits. If it was just like a cheating on a test scandal or something like that, some kids getting drunk. But this is about murder. This is about holding kids hostage. And what you're going to do, it comes down to, well, because I thought when they're in the woods, he was dead. I thought, oh, she's going to kill him. And I was fine with that because I'm like, okay, this shows, even though she's a human, she's not going to fuck around. She'll go through it and kill whoever's in the way. Just hey, we have videos of you fucking a bagel, fucking a skull. I was like, all right.
A gas tank of a car in the parking lot.
Yeah, it just felt, like I said, it felt too much like a Family Guy thing. It felt too much like shock value. So I'd have to look and see if someone wrote it, but it just, all in all, did not work for me. It's one of these episodes that I think if I were to ever watch the series, I would skip, or I'd put it on when I'm doing something else, because Tech Knight is in this episode a lot. He's almost like the main character, and just didn't really work for me. And unfortunately, I feel like we're gonna see this fucker again in The Boys or something like that. So
I'd love that. Him and Homelander on scene together.
Oh my god! I hope Homelander fucking kills this man somehow. He's trying to expose him in his childhood or whatnot. So yeah, and that's probably it. That's just the whole anchor didn't really work for me. I didn't like that it paid off in a joke. It's serious high stakes stuff of kids are being tortured and locked up, and we settled it by, oh yeah, this guy wants to fuck a tree, so we'll blackmail him. So yeah, just it didn't hit home for me, unfortunately. So anything else on Tech Knight?
Well, I guess he does have that tumor in his brain, so that's the other thing as well. But yeah, so maybe he won't be around for a long period of time.
Oh, he'll be around. Maybe, I think if this gets a second season, he'll pop up. I think he'll pop up one more time. The Boys. I would love to see. That's what I will be curious to see, a scene of him and who's our favorite? Who's like the team for? Who's the team coordinator for the Seven? Is it Ashley or whatever the hell her name is?
Like, yeah, with red hair, Ashley.
Yeah, Ashley. Yeah. I'd love to see a scene between those two. That would be interesting because that actress just kills it. So, and like I said, maybe in a different spectrum. I just think it didn't work for me here. I like that they used it for Andre and his dad are separating more and more. Andre talked about that he was high in this episode, right? Mm-hmm. And it just seemed like he's like very high, not just like a couple pills or some weed. It feels like he's making some really bad choices right now. But obviously that didn't make air because they changed it all up, right? And they like, oh, we'll fix it in the edit. And yeah, even like, I know you like that moment of him threatening Kate. I felt it was really strange and off. Like they're still just students at the end of the day. I don't know. I just enjoy that, but I like that Andre and his dad are getting further apart, so I enjoyed that. But I'm trying to think.
It's control too, right? This guy, like Tech Knight, is always used to being in control, being in power, and so when you have the only person in the world that could actually take your control away, you'd feel very threatened, and that's exactly what he felt, right? But again, he only felt threatened because there's nothing he could do about it, and he could control the situation. Where I guess,
but like, just don't get touched. You see her taking her glove off, just like, I'm gonna back away. She has to touch you. So it felt very aggressive for like, I'm gonna cut your fucking hand off to a student. I was like, whoa, you know. But
1 to 100.
Yeah, we literally 1 to 100. So we got Tech Knight. Is there anybody else we're missing? Or any characters that you think we haven't touched upon, story-wise, character-wise?
I think we talked about the group of them. Yeah, you mentioned the dad and how he's breaking away more. The statue of Andre's dad still has the cock ripped open, but then he like crushed the dad's head. So the statue's just getting beaten up.
Sam killed a bunch of guards. We talked about it a little bit, but yeah,
I'd hate to be a guard.
Oh yeah. Not good to be a guard in the Boys universe, but yeah, that the guards were massacred after last week. So we found what happened, that they get there, they show, the finale was, or the the ending of last week's episode was, oh, what's gonna happen? Nothing happened. It was just Sam destroyed them all. Like they didn't get anything like that. Yes, Travis, you can go back. We did talk about the Doctor, and he. I'll be curious to see because like I don't think they're posing. They're not posing him completely as a piece of shit. He seems like a good enough guy, but he's also doing piece of shit things, right? The Dean seems like a bit more questionable. There might have some ulterior motives, but yeah, we did talk. Like I said, smooth move for him to get rid of his family. Very smart to at least do that. So yeah, and they had a conversation that they were both worried about. Oh, someone's gonna find out about this, and we gotta be quiet and everything. And they found the Polly Pocket shoes. So, but yeah, I think we hit on everybody. I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's it. I can't think of anything else. There wasn't anything super, super crazy. Again, like I said before, it didn't do much to the overarching story. It just kind of it moved us ahead a little bit, but it
Yeah.
really just felt like, okay, we're gonna introduce some stuff and have it kind of conclude all at the same time. The only thing you can really walk away with this is, okay, there's more relationships
Yeah.
and there's, I guess, some power struggles happening, but nothing really new.
I was gonna say though, the only thing we might be discounting is there could have been a big, like progression forward once we find out what this whole her missing time waking up in bed, right? Because if we find out there's some missing time and a lot of stuff happened there, maybe it's not, I guess, this episode, but still just in this time frame, a lot of stuff could have got pushed back because they did get Sam, and I feel like they've kind of had a group united. So yeah, that's my biggest question next week is what the hell happened? How'd she end up in that bed? And if everything's on the down low, everything's going good, because I don't know, she didn't see like it, and they were cuddling, so it didn't seem like anything aggressive
She
there.
like smiled, so she was happy with it.
Yeah, it's just odd. So I like that. So yeah, we will be back next week, as usual. You're gonna be getting double Friday drops from now on The Boys, Gen V, and Loki every Friday for the next 4 weeks. So if you like this, go check out Loki. Very different superhero show, but it's in that vein. So, but we will be back next week. Let's see. Travis said I saw reviews from people that got to 6 episodes say that it's kind of a 2-part 4 and 5. Oh, 4 and 5 is kind of a 2-part. That would make
That
sense.
makes sense.
Then.
Yeah.
That makes sense. So and again, as I've said, lots of my stuff here, there's some critiques that won't change, but there are a few that, okay, depending on next week, maybe I'll change my tune. But stuff like Tech Tech Night and some Rush stuff. But who knows? Maybe there's a big reveal, right? So yeah, we'll be back next week. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we promise when you hear from us next, it'll not be boring.